Good evening, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your metal market wrap-up. And this wrap-up is for Election Day. This is Tuesday evening, and it is the 8th of November, 2022, getting on at 6:25 p.m. Central Time. So, are we going to know anything tomorrow? Well, we're going to know in the states where there's landslides one way or the other, that's for certain. There'll be a number of states that are heavily contested, that are close races, and we may know something there. And then there'll be a certain group, as you know, where they're going to run to the courts and they're going to say something went wrong with the election, the count, they're not counting certain ballots, whatever it is. How much of that will weigh in everything? Your guess is as good as the guy next to you. Nobody quite knows. But as the day unfolds in the evening, tonight and in the morning, we'll have a pretty good idea. The market built in, as you can see, a Republican win, whatever that means. All right, does it mean both houses? It certainly means at least one. If they don't get one of them, then this market, what do you do with this rally? What does that mean becomes the question. Then we get to Texas two-step. What do I mean by that? And it's not negative to the state of Texas, which I love. I think it's a really cool state. It means that we're dealing with the election now, but the real number to me, what's more important, is CPI readings. And I only say that because the Fed's independent of all this. Do you get a hot reading? Do you get a reading that's starting to finally roll over? Where are we? We're seeing company upon company, and you know that already, where they're loosening up in terms of hiring. They're not hiring as much, and many companies are letting people go. Now we're hearing that the small mom and pop stores, they want to push as far as they can price increases. Will the consumer be able to pay that? And we saw yesterday at the end of the day, the consumer's loading up on credit card debt. I don't know that that's all a good thing or not. Housing market in trouble. So what does it mean for the metals? Well, the metals look at this and it's very clear. The metals want red. What does red mean? A Republican win. Basis that, the market seems to think the dollar will stay down. This is where it's at least right now, into the election. And the metal market's up. Look at all the copper. Copper came right back into the 366 area. I keep reading how COVID cases are spreading in China. I hear all that talk. I hear that they're locking down. The markets, some of them are paying no attention. Metals didn't pay attention, yet you did break down a bit in the crude and the both the WTI and the Brent. My brain's going in natural gas, which got hit. Why did natural gas fall? Well, remember, I kept telling you they're opening that port in Freeport, and then unconfirmed reports came out today. I haven't seen anything yet confirming it, that it won't be in November. It'll be pushed back to December. Now, there are 3 or 4 ships sitting outside of the port waiting to load already, and there's a couple of more coming. So do you really get overly bearish if it's a week or 2 later? I'm not convinced that makes any sense, but we'll see. When I look at the gold chart, you did just what we've been talking about. You and I have been talking time and time again, and this is how the market looked. This is Friday. If we get a rally, can you get up to the 18-week average of closes to fight a battle? This is where you're at right now. So this is the battleground. Okay, it's done it. It's negated the downtrend. It hasn't begun an uptrend just yet. It could. When you come onto the daily charts, you have a blowout from this break low, and the market just ratcheted all the way up. Now, it's got pretty stiff resistance that begins right in through this area here, the 1750 level. Doesn't mean you can't go through it, but it's pretty stiff right there. It starts off right here, in fact, at the green line, which is 1730, the 100-day average of closes, and it gets married very quickly here to the Bollinger Band, which you got over today and you're fighting at right now. But that's the next zone. And if you can clear that, well, there's other areas. So what's the gold right now? Bullish. You have higher lows, higher highs. It is over a Bollinger Band. I would never have a client buy over a Bollinger Band. It generally ends up poor. You can do better often by waiting. Number 2, you're overbought. So I look at a market that's overbought into a resistance area. It certainly has negated the downtrend. Is this a base for it to work higher? It just might be. So all of a sudden my antenna are up. I like what I'm seeing here. Did the dollar make a top? That's going to be the big question. I think part of it gets answered on Thursday when not only the elections, but the CPI number. It's a very important 48 hours coming up with us, and I think it's going to let us know a lot. The gold-silver ratio. Silver is now gone since September, getting up here into the 97 difference to 80. That's quite a drop. So silver has gained on gold nicely. Now you've run into the 200-day average of closes. Generally, the combination of a Bollinger Band and that number is a lethal combination where markets have a tendency to just run out of gas all of a sudden. I didn't say bearish. They run out of gas. The smart money's coming out up here saying it'll fall back into the 18-day average. We'll see what happens. But there's another event that happened. Do you see how the 18-day average is now over the 100? That's a bullish crossover. And as that happened during the day, you made a new high on this whole move. So people are looking at those crossovers. In the copper market, are we going to get one of those here? Because here you are with the green line at 351. You're near 347 in the 18-day average. You're overbought. You're running against the upper Bollinger Band 3 days in a row. You're backing away tonight. It's not quite what I call that gorilla glue trade. Get up there and stay near it again. Then I think you have it. And that's quite bullish. Then you latch onto that Bollinger Band. You have a way of pushing prices even higher. And this is with, by the way, the Chinese bearish news that the COVID is spreading and we keep hearing, oh, they're going to keep locking down. Something's not gelling. Copper doesn't lie. Something's not gelling. When I look at the platinum market, you have a lower low, higher high. You're at the beginning of trying to embed. That's strong as can be. And in the palladium, you left your embedded reading. Now, we just spoke to each other about this. This was happening the other day. Let me get to it. Here we are. So here you are on Friday, and you still have the embedded reading. You lose it yesterday. The odds are, if you take my enhanced Bollinger Band course, you learn the percentage trade of this. Before this market gets under here, the odds are super strong. You're going to get to the closest main moving average. In this case, it happens to be the 18-day. Whoops, excuse me. I know you wanted me to show you that, right? Maybe I shouldn't. All right, I will. Bingo. Okay. Then we get to the dollar index, which is now oversold, and it comes into major support to test. The traders that keep saying, no, you got to keep buying the dollar because the Fed's going to keep strong and do blah, blah, blah. Well, I got to tell you, this market's turned bearish, but it's hit a downside target in the lower Bollinger Band. You missed it by 4 ticks. You might hit it tomorrow, but you're there, and with the 100-day average, you're there. If all that gave ground, you put in the play. I know it sounds crazy to those analysts that are so committed to the dollar, the possibility of 104. What does a lower dollar do? I think it creates inflation. Why? Our goods become very much more affordable abroad. We remove one of the headwinds for corporations. I was on TV in Sky Business today in Australia. And they were asking me questions about what I thought. And I said, I think corporations have a problem. I think that they gave you the forward guidance. If you saw FedEx today, they came out with nothing but headwinds. And others have been doing this. So break the dollar, and does that headwind go away? Keep it strong, and this is just a correction. Well, they're telling you the problems they're going to have, and that's still bearish than the stock market. You're at the most interesting time of all. You're getting Bollinger Band plays all over the place, and you got to learn how to work with them. Take a look at this. Take advantage of this course. You get the free charting software. You get subscription access to my research from both the written, the videos. I mean, you get everything we've got. Folks, it pays for itself just with that. Then you get the education. 13 chapters teaches you how to work with the Bollinger Band and slow stochastic as I teach it. Take a look. I'm Ira Epstein. See you tomorrow. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time. And on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all three of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, if you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein, on the road to your education.